Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Well, it looks like the veil is thinning in plain sight. We're just still at the very beginning of this year, and wow, let's not begin in theory. Let's begin in the body of the earth, and the body that you're living in, because they're the same, really. Or let's say there's resonance between them. The last few weeks we've witnessed, at least in the U.S., another round, or I should say yet another round of manufactured storms sweeping across North America. Lots of reports of snow that felt synthetic, plastic even, extreme cold, and now there is some lab confirmed evidence from Texas that testing of that snow that fell in Texas confirmed elevated levels of aluminum and barium and strontium, mercury, lead, sulfur, nitrates, all present in that snow. That's not good. Obviously, it shouldn't be a surprise, though, right? Because we know what's going on in the sky and what the air is laced with. Lots and lots of people reported grid patterns of chemtrails in the sky in the days leading up to these storms. But these compounds that were found in very elevated levels in the snow are, neurotoxins and endocrine disruptors and energetic blockers. Not that it's any surprise if you are awake and you know what's been going on and you know how, we humans are being, let's say, challenged by all of these different vectors. Our health and our awareness is being challenged. Our awakeness. These are attempts to keep us asleep. But when these compounds, these toxic products enter the soil, then they enter the water, they enter the food chain, and of course they enter our bodies. So let's be clear, this is not conspiracy theory. All right, we're being chemically, energetically, emotionally, and spiritually bombarded through every possible vector to keep us disconnected from source, from the earth, from the memory of who we really are, from our own sovereign signal. Okay? That's what it is. It's I don't know if you're feeling it like I am, but like the desperation of this squeeze that we're feeling. It's in a way good news because it shows how rapidly we're waking up and how concerted the efforts are to prevent that from happening. Nothing can stop it. Nothing can stop it. So I just want to, while all of this is going on and things seem to be crazier and crazier out there, to remind us and remind myself in doing so that it's always very, very simple what it comes down to. If you're feeling stressed, anxious, if any of this stuff is freaking you out, and if you're a normal human being, why wouldn't it? Nobody wants to see this, right? But, the deeper truth is that the more this artificial matrix, this synthetic imposition presses in on us, on we humans, the more what is real in us, organic and authentic and divine, just naturally starts to rise up. It's like the very thing that is being used to suppress consciousness, suppress memory, keep us distracted, small, focused on things that don't matter, all of that. The more that happens, the more awake people become. That is thrilling. That is thrilling to me personally. And, we are not subjects here. We are not subjects. We are not victims to these circumstances. We are sovereign fractals of the source. And we're here to remember this is our earth. This is our planet. We are her children. We are here as full universal fractals of the source to remember that, to integrate all of our light and shadow, and to move to the, I don't want to use terms that imply hierarchy because that's not what this is about, but to enter a new space of consciousness, a new earth, a new realm of existence. And that happens through our awareness, through our steadiness, as we navigate the insanity that is all around, and the revelations that, just like every day, it's something new, right? And it's getting harder and harder to not see the connections. I don't want to say any names. I don't want to get into any specifics, guys, because ultimately that stuff doesn't matter. And there's lots of people who are talking about that. I'm not really interested in talking about that. But, if you're doing your research, if you're paying attention, you can see that the dots are finally connecting. So let this be, as the squeeze intensifies, which it will throughout this year. Let this be a call to remembrance for you. Let the snow and the sky and the air and the artificial manipulations be a mirror. I mean, if they are engineering the elements, which they are, then we have to return to our elemental intelligence. We need to root ourselves ever more deeply into the earth, into the not even the grid, right? The song lines of the earth, the real organic song lines of creation that are still here underneath all of this synthetic imposition that we're dealing with. The grids, the matrix, right? All of that overlay, right? Cannot disappear the reality of what the earth is, right? And the true song lines of creation, the organic, right? The synthetic cannot get rid of the organic. The organic is untouchable, right? It can cover it up, it can muffle it temporarily, but that time is running out. That time is almost up. That's why these attempts are so transparent and so desperate. Anyway, we are. There is an elevation in the resonance of the solar current of truth, the light in us, right here in our heart. We need to remember that, not just what's being done, but what we are capable of becoming, in a way, thanks to what is being done. So we can set the intention that this is not about fighting anything. It's not about fighting the old. It's about reclaiming what was always ours. We just forgot about it. What should be our natural birthright was turned into privileges that we had to ask for, beg for, but we are not subjects of this planet or subjects of a small group of controllers. We are the sovereign inhabitants and children of the earth and the sun. And it's time to wake up and remember that. And you don't have to fight. You just have to drop in to the compass of your coherence, which is the heart. Not the heart chakra, something deeper than that. Because the chakras are just part of the hierarchical ladder of imposition. Before that, we have one center. I call it the deep heart. That's how it feels to me. It's also been called the heart soul essence. It's our portal, direct access to the source. That is our compass. That is where we reestablish coherence when we get, pushed off center. And it's we're to be forgiven. We should forgive ourselves for when we get pushed off center by the tremendous challenges that we are facing. This is the most sophisticated game that we've ever played. But if you remember it's a game, then you start to realize that there are certain rules, right? So you have to learn to play the game to your advantage, right? You can't disappear the game for now. It's still here. It's still dealing with this, right? So how do I navigate this and actually let it be the resistance? I'm talking about like weights, like you use at the gym to make me stronger, to make me more human, more humane, more grounded in truth, and to bring my light out in a way that I've never been able to do it before, right? So the heart is not, it's not the center of emotion. It's the tuning fork of what is real in us. So when we return to coherence, we access a fractal resonance with all that is, all of life, in a knowing that bypasses thought, right? It's a different paradigm of existence. You've probably experienced moments in your life when your heart knew the truth before your mind did, right? Those times where you look back afterwards and you're like, I knew that. I knew. But this wanted to go against it. This wanted something else. This didn't want to see. But I knew. I really knew, right? We've all had those moments. That's heart knowing. It tells you the truth. Your body tells you the truth. The mind may want to, to see something else. That's okay, right? This false light matrix that we were born into creates layers of interference that pull us out of our coherence, that pull us out of our heart consciousness. And our heart has deliberately been suppressed because this is what makes us human, right? And in order to have a global control over beings that are infinite, really, truly, full universal fractals, this had to be suppressed because this is our direct connection to source, right? So this the synthetic mimicry cannot create anything original because it's not connected. It has cut itself off from source. And this is, again, let's remember that any being that chooses to do that is part of the experiment, right? We've all experienced what it was like to be cut off from source, right? It's part of our contrasting expressions in the exploration of life in this universe by the means of light, right? So light is sine waves. One goes up, one goes down, right? And so we experience both sides of the wave. So those beings who are choosing to experience what it's like to be disconnected from source and to try to become gods in their own universe and to mimic the divine intelligence, the universal creator, there may be a temporary thrill, temporary like eons of time, but still temporary, in setting yourself up as the universal creator when you're not. But eventually it's going to come to an end. And so because when you cut yourself off from source, you don't have an innate source of energy, right? You don't have that fountain of infinite energy, life eternal, then you are kind of stuck copying what already is. and nothing original can come of you. So you're turned into a consumer, right? You have to consume life in order to stay alive because you don't have your own innate source of energy anymore, right? So you can see how that model has been overlaid onto us. But the truth is, we are not that. We are not those mimics. We are not that. They would like to merge us with their technology so that we could become that and lose what we really are. So we could be eternally harvested for our energy, but that's not going to happen, right? So we have to just remember, we just have to keep coming back to that compass, that coherence, which is the truth of our being, right? And the real, what is organic, what is true, is not louder. It's not louder. It is quieter. It is simpler. It is steady and quiet, right? It's not going to advertise. It doesn't make a lot of noise, unlike what the false that's out there. It's very attention seeking and attention getting, distracting and loud and screaming fear and doom and all of that stuff. That's not the real. You don't have to be afraid of that stuff. What's real is in us. It's in here. It's deep in here. And it is not louder. It is quiet. It is quieter. Okay. So, anytime you want to come back to coherence, it's so, you don't have to learn a technique. It's who you are already. You just got to breathe into your heart for a few moments and go inward. I mean, that's it. I don't know. Sometimes you go okay, so what's the technique? And I used to look for technique too, right? Because we're used to this complicatedness, and having to climb the ladder in order to get somewhere and earn something, so we could be let in on the secret of life, No, it's not about that. You already have it. You have it. You just put your hand on your heart and say, I am, and breathe into your heart and let it show you. Let it show you. So, okay, so that's the first thing. When things get too crazy out there, too complicated, if you start to feel like you're being pulled off center and you're feeling anxious, worrying about the world and is everything okay, and this, oh no, this is terrible. I mean, it's easy to do, especially if you watch news, which I really disrecommend. Come back to your heart coherence, your deep heart. Breathe and feel. Just feel your heart. Then reconnect to what is organic on the planet, right? The earth has her own song lines, as I was saying, right? A living, breathing consciousness network that is part of her consciousness. We have been plugged into the synthetic circuitry and disconnected from our true source charge, but the real creational song lines are still here, right? We can feel them when we're in nature. We can feel them when we put our bare feet on the ground or in the sand. That's my favorite. You can feel it when you hold or hug a tree, or by a river. Listen to bird song. Just breathe and tune out the noise around you and feel what's real. Just feel what's real around you. Even if you're in the city, you can see it. You can find it somewhere. There's a tree somewhere. I mean, I gotta tell you, a few years ago when I was letting everything go and feeling very unmoored and full of grief, I would go to the trees. I bundled myself up because it was winter time, and I went. There was a particular tree that was come and hug me, so I did. I went and I put my arms around the tree and I just cried against the tree, and it received me. It comforted me. This is real. This is not your imagination. There is a network of consciousness. We are connected on a creational level to everything that is real. And I've said it before, and I will continue to say it because I need to be reminded too, but we can only relate to what's real out there through what is real in us. If we haven't connected with what is real in us, then it's very hard to find a sense of connection to the real out there, right? Then your mind is trying to figure everything out, and forget it. It can't do that. Your mind does not know what is real and what is not real. Your mind does not know what is AI, synthetic, and what is true, real, organic. It doesn't. It's not equipped to do that. It can only decode what it is perceiving, right? And that is influenced by all kinds of programming and conditioning, right? That's why we've got to just face ourselves, feel whatever's going on. Don't be afraid of it. Metabolize your shadow now. Do it, right? Alchemize everything in you. Don't be afraid of it. There's nothing to be afraid of, right? And step into your sovereignty. This is it. It's now, right? It's not, eventually someday. No, it's now. This is happening now. So we can't tell what's real with the mind. We can only tell what's real from what is real here, from the real in us. And it's not complicated. It's simple to do. And I'm trying to remind myself to just connect in very simple ways throughout the day. I spend a lot of time on the computer. I'm very aware of that. But a lot of my work is on the computer, and this is the technology that they've given us, and it seems like everything operates off of it. So we have to learn ways to not get sucked into this 100%, but like root ourselves, dig our roots down deep in what is real and organic and true, to counterbalance the effects of the synthetic world that we are currently navigating. And every time we do this, we reinforce our pathway out of the program. You know what I mean? And you can trust yourself. Nobody can do it for you. We are learning to remember, or we're remembering that that's just the truth. We already know how to do this. It's natural. You don't need somebody else to teach you. You can find your own pathway back to the center of your own being, because that's how you got here in the first place, right? So we are not, permanently broken or something, but we have been fragmented. That's for sure. We're not separate, but we were sealed off by overlays and sequestered, at least perceptually. And that's all that matters anyway, right? If you think that you're separate, if you think there's something wrong with you, then that's your experience of life. And we have been subjected to, we are not subjects, but we have been subjected to, at least until we remember who we are, a kind of fragmentation and dissociation, right? Because that's the best way to keep us from remembering who we are, right? That is holistic. That wholeness, right? That feeling of wholeness where there's no walls inside you, because you're not dividing, the good part of you away from the bad part of you that you don't want to feel or don't want to deal with, don't want to face, right? If you can just let that go and embrace all of you and everything that you are, including what you may have judged as bad, wrong, what other people may have judged as bad, wrong, not good enough, unworthy, whatever it is. If you can just let that go now and just decide that you're going to love all of you, all the parts of you, and everything that has brought you to this moment, because there is a wisdom in it, then you can't be divided, right? Divide and conquer. If you can't be divided, then you can't be conquered, right? We are, always have been, and always will be whole within, right? That's the truth. So as all of these illusions fall away, as the veil thins and things appear to get crazier out there, we can stabilize our heart field. That's being responsible, right? Stabilize the heart field. What do we do when the next veil lifts? What when friends and family don't see what we see? When I don't know, media narratives break down, or grief arises, or rage or anxiety arises. Well, we don't fight. We don't have to do that. We don't flinch. We just breathe. Just breathe. Stay steady in the field of your heart. Keep coming back to the heart. That's all. I'm like, offer practices, but you just breathe. Just breathe into your heart. Just breathe into your heart. Breathe like you're breathing from your heart. Connect with your heart field. Try to feel it again. I'm saying this because I'm still learning how to do that myself, right? I'm still remembering my heart field. I'm still realizing how divorced I was from it in so many ways, right? We've all been traumatized that way. So the thing to do is just to start to go back there every single time. just when you realize you've forgotten, as soon as you remember, go back there and just take 3 deep breaths into your heart and stabilize yourself in your heart space, rather than trying to think things through up here or try to figure it out with your mind, because that ain't gonna work. And nature is a really great regulator. It does so much of that work for us. And simple things like, toning, just humming your own voice through your body. Your vagus nerve is like a drone string, and when you tone and hum your own voice through your body, it regulates your nervous system. It's just amazing, right? Because we were built to totally whole and complete to heal ourselves. We have everything that we need within to heal ourselves. So we've got to start anchoring the real in everyday life, and don't pay attention to all that noise out there. Don't buy it. Don't buy into it. Stabilize yourself and anchor yourself in what is real. Sovereignty is not about what you believe. It's not of the mind. It's who you have become. It's who you know yourself to be. Again, not in your mind. It's not a projection, identity, personality. It just is. Sovereignty is what is when you are real, when you are authentic, when you have remembered, I am. There's no one above me or below me. I don't have to ask for permission. I can govern myself, and I have the right to. So we can pay attention to what we consume in terms of food, in terms of information, in terms of energy. We can pay attention to what we repeat, right? Repetition is how we get inculcated with stuff, for better or for worse. So whatever you repeat in your inner dialogue, if you notice that there's something there that isn't supportive, you don't have to continue that. You can change the program, right? And pay attention to what you offer in terms of your presence, your attention, your energy. Thanks for the hearts. Because you are the tuning fork for truth in your body, in your home, in your field, with all the people around you. And that is always going to be stronger than any crazy shit that's happening out there, guys. Right? Don't believe it. Don't buy into it. They want you to get distracted and lose your mind and think this is the end of the world. No matter how bad things look, come back here, stabilize, connect to the earth. It's all going to be okay. We just got to get through this challenging period that we all agreed to come here for. So you don't have to do anything heroic. You just simply remember what's real and let that remembrance ripple out into everything that you touch. If you are wondering like, okay, well, I need a little bit more orientation to like figure this out. If your mind is like wanting something to hold on to, I've got a program called Exit the Matrix. It's kind of a primer, right? Or a primer. I can't remember how you're supposed to say that word. I don't care. A primer for extricating yourself from programming, from synthetic control, from the unexamined assumptions that may still be running your life. So you can, go to my link tree, go to my website. If you're interested in learning more about that program, you can read about it on the website. But I've been hearing good feedback from people who are finding it really helpful to help you get the lay of the land as we move into this year, which is it's going to be full-bodied. So I'm going to close this space now and seal it in grace for those who are listening now, for those who will listen on the replay. Thank you so much for your presence. Thanks so much for being here. May your body return to its original rhythm and remember the true rhythm, the organic rhythm. May your voice sound the note of truth. May there be no conflict between thoughts, words, and actions in your life. May you be transparent to yourself and to everyone else. May your heart expand beyond any interference. May you know your true sovereign nature once again. May the real be revealed through your living presence. I wish that for all of us. It's happening. All right. That's all I've got to share today. So I'll see you next week. Bye for now.